Yo, what's up everyone? It's Moca here, and today I'm going to be doing a deep dive into my new track Rick James off my new album Boring Ass Thriller. Let's get straight into it. Coming into this track and where I got the ideas and how the creative process kind of came along, it kind of all started along with me just doing a bit of research into old rock, funk from the 80s, 90s, and a name I would always see come up would be Rick James. And he was known for a few of his huge songs, and I listened to them, and after analyzing them and just kind of really getting just like a whole grasp of his idea and his themes and concepts, I really wanted to create a track, kind of putting these themes all into through my perspective, through the eyes of Mocha. So how I actually started off the track was I had chopped up a few vocal samples of Rick James himself speaking or singing. So we start off with there's three main vocal vox that kind of chant throughout the song. That is from this sample that we're about to have a look into. That's this one.
It was incredible. I think they like the funk.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
And then I added this next vocal sample. And then diving into the last part of the vocal samples, we had this very iconic one right here.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
Obviously is a sample of the iconic 2004 BET Awards.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
So that's how I kind of went along with the vocal samples. From then on, it was just drums and vocals. Now, before we got to the drums, there was one more thing. I did have a loop from one of my boys, Gianji. It sounds like this. It's like a murderous almost feel, so I really liked that. And then I just added the drums, which kind of sound like this. I'll play them through. So we start off with the hi-hats. Just some rolls.
He like a hi-hat guy, kind of.
That just loops. Alright. Then we go into the snare. And then another snare. And then we got the kick. Got another kick. Just a deeper kind of undertone. Open. The crash. Now with all of these instruments, all the drums together, like this. That open hat, I think really speaks like it kind of opens up that split second in the drums, which gives that little pocket to put something really interesting in. Now, everything all together, the drums, the vocal sample, the sample itself, from Gianji, it all kind of sounds like this together. And then that's it. And then we just go straight into the vocals.
You be Rick James. I be Prince, you be Rick James. You be Prince, I be Rick James. Rollerblade spliff to the face, see the smirk change. Got the flame and the blade, see the hue change. This the life of the crazy, rich in the fame. I got a new bitch by the name Mary Jane. She always on my dick like.
When it comes to the creative process behind the lyrics, I really wanted to get that raw Rick James feel, and I started it off by straight away the lyrics go straight into the beef with Prince.
You be Rick James. I be Prince, you be Rick James.
So we start off strong, talking about going straight into the topics of drugs, marijuana. This is the lifestyle that's kind of sprung upon by the rich, the fame. Moving on to the second part of that vocal.
I got a new bitch by the name Mary Jane.
Got a new bitch by the name Mary Jane. Mary Jane is one of Rick James's most popular tracks. He uses I got a new bitch by the name Mary Jane almost like Mary Jane was like the thing that he kind of capitalizes off. He's showing it off. This is Mary Jane. This is my bitch. I got a new bitch by the name Mary Jane. this is Mary Jane. And then right here on to the next part, we have another vocal sample, which kind of leads on.
Hey, Mary Jane, she always on my dick like,
Nigga, you ain't shit.
and I'll be on.
And this vocal sample is from Kendrick Lamar's Free, the song Free off To Pimp a Butterfly. Sampled it. It's great. Works really well. Fits really well in that little pocket that I created. And it's kind of a call and response. I got a new bitch by the name Mary Jane, and then using this as the voice as Mary Jane, replying like, you ain't shit. Like I didn't create you. Like, moving on.
And I be on a stage faded, lights in my face, I was jaded, pacing, I was seeing green X-rated. The fans with the praise stare at me like I'm Satan. I'm scared and I'm chased by my demons I'm facing. It's like,
here we talk about his drug abuse, and what he kind of had to deal with when it comes to performing on stage, and how the fans view him as an artist, and putting myself in the body like, oh, you know, now I'm in Rick James's body and now I'm going to perform and I feel jaded, you know, I don't feel like my full self. And that could be because of the drugs, it could be because of the ideas and whatever. So I think this works well. Now the reason that this vocal here is kind of split is because I had a different section here which I ended up getting rid of and switching out, because I was stuck on it for about 3 months on what to put there and how to make it fit perfectly. But I really liked how it came out here. Now this little ad lib at the background over here, you'll hear it. It's the last note on the track.
my demons I'm facing, it's like,
That is exactly the tone I wanted to set for the next scene. Now I wanted to create something that was almost like a movie. It was like the first scene setting the setting. It's setting up the scene. It's bringing everything in, and then all of a sudden, it's like. So moving on, we still have the vocal sample running through the entire track. All right. The only change is we are removing the original piano sample and we are bringing in a new beat. So when I came to producing this beat, I really wanted to capture a black skinhead type of instrumental, similar to by Kanye West. So we'll start off looking at the kick, and then I layered it with a different kick. I believe it's 25 left each side, left and right. Now that top kick is also an octave up as well. There's another kick which I did layer underneath all of that to kind of round everything up and just add in that final kind of sound. This snare. And then I added a clap with another kick. Now the two extra doubles are panning. And then we move on to the snares. So we have this one. Straight Outta Guilt Trip by Kanye. And then we have the Black Skinhead live clap straight out of the song. And then I layered that with another snare. And then all together those three kind of sound like this. Very, very distorted.
Very demure.
Very junky almost. Like it sounds straight out of a metal yard, right? So, and then I think what really brings this in is this crash right here. I really liked the Black Skinhead idea, so I took some of the drums out of that and brought it into my own project. So all those drums together sounds like this. Now we're going to go into the hi-hats. Now I think the hi-hats are what really bring in this unique idea that separate it from Black Skinhead, separate it from me just copying this idea. I wanted to bring in something that would rhythmically just bring on the instrumental, and that was this. I'll start off with the original hi-hat. Just a triplet with the fourth step out, and then I also layered that with a perk. So layered those together. I also added a cymbal and a few other little sounds. Then I added two more things. This sound right here. Just another, just a Foley kind of sound, just to add a little ear candy in the background. I think really adds to it. And then we move on to this little taiko drum set, which I created right here. Two taiko drums straight out of Love Lockdown as well by Kanye, which sound like this and like this, and they all together sound like this. That is also followed by a little tom kind of sound, and then also a group hey, like a chant kind of a sound. So all the drums together, they sound like this. With the vocal sample. And then we go on to what kind of carries all these drums into the melodic kind of sense, and it is a single note on the letter on C5, just kind of riding through. It is a Moog bass. Super gritty, super kind of Igor kind of centered almost. It's really prominent in the mix. It's really driving through, cutting through everything else, creating that center track. Now there's a few other little things that are in here before we get into the vocals, and we have this breath loop from Black Skinhead as well, which I switched the timing out of and sampled, and it sounds like this. And then we move into what makes this even darker. Now I wanted to create like almost something straight out of Thriller by Mike. I wanted to create something ominous yet still, you know. So I'll show you a few of the vocal samples I dragged in. We have this one. And then we have another scream straight from Kanye. I have this little sound right here, which kind of transitions another note. And then I also brought from Gianji's loop, I brought across this sound right here. Just some more background sounds. Now all together, without my vocals, this is what the track sounds like. Awesome. Sounds great. Now moving on to the vocals. Now, when it came to the recording process of how I came up with the ideas for this next half, I wanted to focus on really embodying myself in Rick James. And I went by doing that by starting off with the first line saying this.
Hand out the grave, I feel like Rick James, am I going insane?
Straight away builds the image I'm inside of Rick James, alright? And then I just kind of talk about it.
Hand out the grave, I feel like Rick James, am I going insane? I just took a hit of some coke on a plane on the way to the stage, so I live this. Drug abuse, man, I breathe this. And they tryna say I'm deceased, but I'm born and I'm back in this bitch. Baby, I'm back in this bitch. Baby, I'm back in this shit.
Alright, cool. Now let's dive into it. Now I straight away go into more topics on drugs, and I talk about Rick James and cocaine.
I just took a hit of some coke on a plane on the way to the stage, so I live this. Drug abuse, man, I breathe this. And they tryna say I'm deceased, but I'm born and I'm back in this bitch. Baby, I'm back in this bitch. Baby, I'm back in this shit.
Now I really wanted to talk about me. Now, me being in the body of Rick James, I wanted to talk about how now it's my turn. So,
drug abuse, man, I breathe this. And they tryna say I'm deceased, but I'm born and I'm back in this bitch. Baby, I'm back in this bitch. Baby, I'm back in this shit. I need some.
Now it's my turn. Alright? So now I take over that Rick James persona. It's like that one guy from Harry Potter that switches his face around. Anyway, I have this little vocal effects right here. Just a heavy delay. I think it's on a 16th note. And that's layered with this, which has a phaser and a few other effects. Moving on, we have this part of the vocal.
I need some funk in my system, I need to leave, get some breeze in my braids and some pot in my system. I need to be someone different, hop in the body of Mocha, I don't feel like leaving.
That's me talking about how now I'm in the body of Rick James, alright? Now I'm kind of running it and I don't feel like leaving. I don't want to go back to that Rick James sense, but I did like the ideas. I did want like the funk. I need some funk in my system. I need to leave, get some pot in my system, get some breeze in my braids. I had braids at the time, I just buzzed it off actually, but at the time of recording this I had braids, and I was talking about that feeling like it's refreshing. You get braids, the breeze is running through it, you can feel it on your scalp. It's refreshing that being in a new body, Rick James being in my body, is refreshing, similar to the breeze. Now let's continue.
I need some, I don't feel like leaving. Bipolar, Rick James and Lil Mocha, I'm winning. Junkie and fame is the way that I'm grinning. I'm grinning, I'm grinning, I'm grinning. I might be the villain. I'm James, bitch.
Bipolar Rick James or Lil Mocha. That's exactly it. This idea again that it's almost a bipolar relationship. Mocha, Rick James. It's I'm switching back and forth between this wanting to be not in a drug addiction kind of situation and seeing how refreshing it is, but then the fame on the other side. So it's kind of a bipolar relationship here.
I don't feel like leaving. Bipolar, Rick James and Lil Mocha, I'm winning. Junkie and fame is the way that I'm grinning. I'm grinning, I'm grinning.
And then right there, I hinted at which one I obviously chose. Junkie and fame. Junkie, talking again about the drug addiction. It's almost like a junkie, right? Junkie and fame is the way that I'm grinning, I'm grinning, I'm grinning, I'm grinning. I might be the villain. It's villainous. It's really, it's a dark kind of a story, alright? Now, I layered that vocal with a few monotone vocals.
Polar, Rick James and Lil Mocha, I'm winning. Junkie and fame is the way that I'm grinning. I'm grinning, I'm grinning, I'm grinning. I might be the villain.
Which add more layers to the vocal. And then I added this ad-lib at the end. Again, using that.
I'm Rick James, bitch.
I'm Rick James, bitch. I really liked how I said that one. I'm Rick James, bitch. I just said it cool. Now moving into the second half of the track, I use a few of Giangi's loops right here. That high, like, ringing sound almost really adds more eerie, kind of haunting, ghostly kind of sound, as well as this vocal sample. Yeah, let's just analyze the vocals. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah, I.
I'm grinning, Killer be killed, I'm be the villain, I'm James, the grin of the killer be killed, I'm the kid in the mirror, Bloody Mary telling me I'm a sinner, Mary smirking at me, pray for forgiveness, for sinning, for lust, for the greed and the pride that you praise, the envy and rage that you bring in the stage, the gluttony slot that you claim, Mocha you devil you shame, go right in the grave.
Basically, I just kind of went into it, again, talking about the devil, Mary Jane, it's this whole hellish kind of dark is kind of talking back to me now after all the sins I committed. So let's give it a listen.
The grin of a killer be killed, I'm the kid in the mirror.
Grin of a killer be killed, I'm the kid in the mirror. I wanted to talk about how just because I'm Rick James looking in the mirror, I still see myself and I still feel regretful for those sins, but you know, new leaf.
Where you spend that shit? Any nigga that put money on his shirt, know their ass, bro.
Bloody Mary telling me I'm a sinner, Mary smirking at me, pray for forgiveness, for sinning, for lust, for the greed and the pride that you praise, the envy and rage that you bring in the stage, the gluttony slot that you claim, Mocha you devil you shame, go right in the grave.
And then right there, I talk about the sins that I committed as Rick James, you know, and how it's affecting Mocha. And then here I think is really cool. Here what I did is I sampled another another Kanye.
But I'm the best.
But are you a milk chocolate? and the same peanut butter.
I wanted it to add on to the vibe that I was off, and you can hear it in the tone that I finished this last vocal.
Moca, you devil, you shame, go right in the grave.
Way that the note that I end on is very diminishing. It's dark. You want more, right? So this is the Kanye sample that I used. That vocal sample is very distorted, but it really sounds similar, and it bounces off almost like a call back from what I was saying.
Go right in the grave. We can behave. Stay in your lane. Bitch, I'm in chains.
Super distorted. The whole concept kind of falls into this dark, ominous kind of feel, and I think it all works really well together. Let's give a listen to this second half of the whole track.
I'm grinning, I might be the villain. I'm James, grin as a killer. Killer be killed, I'm the kid in the mirror. Bloody Mary telling me I'm a sinner. Mary smirking at me, pray for forgiveness for sinning, for lust, for the greed and the pride that you praise. The envy and rage that you bring to the stage. The truth and slap that you claim. What can you devil, you shame? Go right in the grave. We can behave. Stay in your lane. Bitch, I'm in chains.
Just after the Grammy performance, a few days later, he unfortunately passed away. So just after I say, I'm Rick James, bitch, I'm Rick James, it's talking about, bitch, I'm Rick James, and then after that, you start hearing these heartbeats from a heart monitor, and then slowly, it fades away, and that is the end of Rick James right there, this song. I also have these ambulance sirens that come up to it. So altogether, it really creates such an atmospheric kind of sound in the track. And yeah, and that's basically how I went about making the instrumental and how it all came along. So overall, the whole track, Rick James, is persona, putting myself in a different situation. And I think it's something that a lot of artists don't speak about, whether it's, you know, I live in a pretty alright place, it's pretty boring out here, which I'm going to talk about, hence the name of my album, Boring Ass Thriller. I can't put myself in situations because I live in an area where I can't put myself in those situations. So that's why I think it's such a creative way to be able to put myself in other people's shoes and feel exactly, and try to create an idea on how they're feeling. That's my track, Rick James. That's how I produced it. That's how I mixed it, wrote it, and the whole creative process behind my track, Rick James, off my new album, Boring Ass Thriller. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I keep streaming my album. I appreciate y'all.
I got a new bitch by the name Mary Jane. She always on my dick like, nigga, you ain't shit. And I be on the stage faded, lights in my face, I was jaded, pacing, always seeing green X-rayed.